Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and it's time for the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. That's right everybody, thanks for checking out the video. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the weekly Pop Culture Wrap-Up. It's the show where I go over the week's pop culture news, mostly comic books and movies. Let's get right into it. Tales of the Dark Multiverse returns from DC Comics. Now, you remember the series, what was it, 5 one-shot comic books, giving us kind of like dark, alternate, what-if type takes on popular DC events, right? Well, last week we talked about Brian Hitch was doing a 48-page death metal one-shot tie-in. In fact, it actually is going to be one of these Tales of the Dark Multiverse one-shots. He's doing Flashpoint. So a dark, what-if, twisted take on Flashpoint. That's pretty cool. They've also announced they're doing a Hush one, and it's going to be written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, who's writing Last God right now, and it's going to have artwork by Dexter Soy. Really excited for these. I thought that for the majority of it, the previous Tales of the Dark Multiverse were pretty solid. I really liked the Nightfall one. The Death of Superman one was pretty baller. So I'm really excited to see this. Brian Hitch doing the Flashpoint one, seeing an evil, darker take on that. And then Hush by Dexter Soy. I'm a big fan of Dexter Soy's artwork. You can see him in recent issues of Batman and the Outsiders, and I think it's going to be pretty dope, and I'm very, very excited for that. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Recless. Recless is a new original graphic novel debuting from Image Comics in December. It's going to be the first of at least 3 in a series. So, I mean, 100% you got to check it out, right? It's Ed Brubaker, it's Sean Phillips doing work again. They just recently blew me away and others with their Pulp original graphic novel. And so I'm excited for this. Whenever Brubaker and Phillips get in, whenever they work together, which they have been for like 20 plus years now, it's just magical. It's phenomenal. Criminal, Fatale, The Fade Out, Kill or Be Killed, and it keeps going. Sleeper, come on, it doesn't stop. Whenever they work together, it's absolutely amazing. And I really like the idea of them focusing in on the graphic novel. It's something they've really been conscious of here lately. They've even broken up some of their criminal stuff, the recent criminal stuff, into their own hardcover graphic novels. So Reckless is going to be about like a private investigator. The first book comes out in December. They're aiming for April of 2021 for the second book. But y'all, do not sleep on this team. If you are not in on it yet, seriously, what are you waiting for? For 2 decades now, Brubaker and Phillips have been revolutionizing the crime fiction comic book genre, and this is going to be no exception. Monstrous fans rejoice. There's going to be a 2-issue Monstrous miniseries called Talk Stories. Now, I'm not up to date on Monstrous at all. I've only read the first issue. Maybe I should check it out, get caught up. That would be really nifty. But this is going to be a 2-issue series that's set between books 5 and 6, and it's going to fill in a gap, apparently, that's going to be between those 2 books. So, you can rejoice for that. Lucifer will be concluding in trade paperback form. We've already talked about that. Now we know a little bit more about the details. Lucifer Volume 4 is going to be collecting like the last 5 issues of what should have been the final issues of Dan Watters' Lucifer book. I hear great things about it. I'm a huge fan of Dan Watters. Deep Roots, Coffin Bound, it keeps going. He's a great writer. I've got the 3 Lucifer books right there. I can see them. I just am waiting to dive into them. I don't know if I can wait much longer, wait for book 4. I think it's supposed to be coming out early in 2021. I don't know the exact date, but it is happening. It is confirmed, and that's how they're going to conclude that series. So if you were reading Lucifer, and all of a sudden it just ends with no conclusion, this is why. Now, one thing is that the last published issue of Lucifer was issue number 18. 19, though, was in trade paperback 3. That's right. If you're following Lucifer issue to issue, you're not going to be able to get issue 19, except for in volume 3, the trade paperback, The Wild Hunt, I think is what it's called. And that means you already have all the other issues in there. That's kind of crappy. It's kind of sucky. But it is what it is. Mulan is being released on Disney Plus at the beginning of September. I don't remember the exact date. Should have written that down, but it didn't. But it's going to be on Disney Plus. Everybody already knows this. We've been talking about it. Disney Plus subscribers can now buy this movie for $29.99. $30. $30 to watch Mulan. So they went ahead and said, we're not going to release it in theaters. We're just putting it on video on demand on Disney+. They're hoping probably to bring in some new subscribers. Disney has been hit with some big financial losses across the entire company during the COVID pandemic shutdowns and all that jazz. So it kind of makes sense why they're doing it. $30 seems like a steep price tag. If you're just a dude who's going to watch it by yourself at home, like, there's no way I'm paying $30 for this. Now, you will have access to this movie throughout the entirety of your Disney Plus subscription. So if you maintain your subscription, which I've already dropped out of mine, let's be honest. Yeah, I did. But the ESPN Plus is pretty cool, but I just wasn't utilizing it, especially with the MLB back. Whatever. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. I just want to get on my thoughts on this. Okay, $30 for Mulan. And yeah, as long as you have a Disney Plus subscription, it doesn't go away. You will always have that movie. That's cool. It's kind of like akin to buying a Blu-ray, brand new or something like that. Though even that would be cheaper on like a first week sale price of like $20 or something, right? So I think if you have a family, right, then obviously this is a good bet. It will probably be cheaper for you and your family to buy this on Disney Plus and be able to watch it at home than it would be to go to a movie theater. That's completely understandable. I'm just a dude who lives alone. I ain't paying $30 for Mulan. But don't worry, we're going to get the gang together and we're going to pay for it and we're going to watch it and we'll review it. So be on the lookout for that. But we have been pumped for this live-action Mulan movie, and we're just excited to get some damn new movies coming out soon. James Wan's going to be doing a Knight Rider reboot? What? Knight Rider, first of all, not only does it have one of the best 80s TV show theme songs, it's just badass. David Hasselhoff, Kit the Car. I was obsessed with Knight Rider when I was a kid. I am, as an adult, obsessed with James Wan. I think he's a fantastic director, a great producer, so I'll give it a shot. You know, sometimes, though, I get so tired of them just, like, remaking and rebooting all this kind of stuff, but at the same time, Knight Rider, come on. But you gotta have the tune. You gotta have the dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. You gotta have that. It's one of the best, not the best. That might go to Airwolf. Come on, y'all. You know the Airwolf theme song's pretty dope. The Suicide Squad logo. That's not really that much news, but James Wan, of course, doing the new Suicide Squad movie. But you look at the logo, you hear the rumblings behind the scenes about what's going on. You get the idea that James Gunn knows what to do with this property. You look at the logo, it looks a little bit more old school, it looks a little bit more comedic. I think we're going to have a lot of goofy characters that die. I think it's going to be fun. I'm pumped for it, so there you go. And right now, Idris Elba, Bronze Tiger, that seems to kind of be the shoe-in for what's going on there. Animaniacs is going to be on Hulu. We already knew that, but now we have an official date. It starts in November of this year. A 13-episode first season, and I believe next year around April or so, there will be a 13-episode second season. I was a huge fan of the Animaniacs growing up, so I'm super pumped for the new one, and I'm very excited to check it out. Tom Hanks is in talks to play Geppetto in the live-action Pinocchio movie. You know, these Disney live-action movies, and I put quotes on it because is Lion King and Jungle Book, is that live action? That's just another animated film. Anyway, they're doing Pinocchio, and if they can get Tom Hanks to play Geppetto, first of all, that would be pretty dope. That would be really good. Tom Hanks is a very charming, endearing, well-loved actor by most people out there. And I think he would do a great job as Geppetto and add some gravitas to that movie. Now, overall, the live-action Disney remakes, I have not been a fan of at all, except for Aladdin. I freaking love Aladdin. So, I'm kind of pumped for this. Pinocchio is actually one of my favorite Disney movies. It's one of their first animated films. Came out, I believe it's like the second or third one, like right after Snow White. I think Pinocchio was next. Maybe there was Fantasia and then Pinocchio or something like that, but I don't know. I'm excited. I think Tom Hanks could really sink his teeth into this role. And I'm excited for it. I really, really am. That's what we got for you this week. What's coming up here at PCP? Well, I thought about taking a week off for Rockin Robbie Live. And then I was like, you know what? No. Days off are for suckers and scrubs. And occasionally, I'm a sucker and a scrub. But not this week. We're doing Rockin Robbie Live tonight at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I'm excited to chat with y'all about comic books, movies, pop culture, and more. We'll talk about our favorite books of last week. We'll look ahead to what's coming out in comic shops this week. We'll talk about some of this news, including having a pretty substantial rant, I'm assuming, on Mulan and its release coming up. So that's exciting and that's cool, and I'm very excited. Rockin Robbie Live is one of my favorite things to do here at Pop Culture Philosophers because it gives me a chance to interact with you out there in the PCP Army, and I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. So join us tonight at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. That's right. And then, what else this week? Well, we got the weekly comic book review Tuesday night. We got the top 10 comic books of the week on Thursday morning. Friday night, we got a live review of the winner of the PCP Army movie poll, and the winner is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. John Hughes edition, by the way. It was a John Hughes themed poll, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off won. Slightly edging out Weird Science. Number 3 was Breakfast Club. That was my pick. Below that one was Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And in last place was 16 Candles. This is not how I predicted the thing to go. But it did, and it is what it is. We're watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and we're going to be talking about it live on the channel Friday night at 9 p.m. U.S. Central Time, so join us for that. Lots of fun, other little surprises and things. In fact, I'm even re-releasing the botched Capwolf Marvel in the 90s. That will be out this week at some point, so you can revisit that. And that was a botched job. Anyway, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment below anything you want to say about any of this news that we just covered. Get ready for Rockin Robbie Live tonight at 7 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I'm excited. I'm pumped. PCP Army for life. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you guys so much. We appreciate it. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Click that notification bell. Join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and so much more. And if you are able to do so, you can help support this channel at patreon.com/PCP. Unlock exclusive content, early access, including early audio access to the weekly comic book review hours before it drops here on YouTube. So lots of fun stuff there. Thank you guys so much for the support. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on living.